Good afternoon. We have a super show for you tonight. I have the privilege of bringing on Tyrone Vaughan, who is the son of Jimmy Vaughan from the Fabulous Thunderbirds. Jimmy actually founded the Thunderbirds, and the nephew of Stevie Ray Vaughan. He has also had a UFO experience, and he is active on the tour circuit.
Hey,
All right, man.
fellas.
Hey,
What's
How's it
happening?
going?
It's so cool to be here with you guys.
yeah. Thanks for making time, man.
You bet.
So I guess what I'd like to do, if it's okay with you, I think the studio has one of your songs queued up. Would you like to start with that?
Yeah, go ahead. This song, I think, is called Going Home.
Go to the light, I'm going home. Can't believe when the time is gone. But I still got heart, I still got soul. But I ain't got you, so here I go. I'm going home. Going home. I'm going home, and I'll never leave you alone. When times were hard, I went down low. I sang the blues for way too long. Then I stood upright, I stood up tall, I stood up proud, 'cause after all, I'm going home. Going home. I'm going home, and I'm never gonna leave you alone. Beyond these walls and past those trees, man by the river make me believe. He says, talk to the woman out on the plains. She says, leave now and you won't be late. I'm going home. Going home. I'm going home. Ain't never gonna leave you alone. I'm going home. I'm going home. I'm going home. I ain't never gonna leave. I'm going home. Ain't never ever leaving. I'm going back home to you. Going back home to you, baby.
Hey, man, that's a pretty freaking good song.
Hey, there it is. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Is that out now? That's a single, or is it on an
that's
album?
a single. That's a single. It's been out for a little bit.
Okay, very cool. So I also understand that Stevie gave you your first two guitars.
Yeah, I was inspired when I was a kid growing up in the Austin music scene. I mean, these guys were playing the blues every night, and this was really before they got big. But Stevie, he came to my 5th birthday party, and he had a pawn shop guitar that he found for me, an old Harmony 60s model. And man, it was about the coolest thing ever. And he gave me another one when I was 7, right? So I was, Stevie is one of my biggest fans, actually. And he always said, Jimmy's boy is going to be a player,
Were you playing at 5 and 6?
No, I wasn't. But, just the influence and being around the music, Muddy Waters, one of the great bluesmen of all time, gave me his harmonica.
Ooh.
And, stuff like that, just kind of, next thing you know, you're playing every day. I got
all this stuff put aside somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. You bet. I'm going to pass it down to my kids.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Now, I know your uncle's biggest influence was Jimi Hendrix. Okay.
Yeah, Jimi Hendrix had to be one of his biggest. Sure.
Now, what is your idol?
Well, I would say my idols probably
I know it's a tough question.
Stevie and Jimmy's idols. I mean, Hendrix is number one for me as well.
Okay.
I think he's probably my favorite musician, probably my favorite songwriter, and probably by far my favorite guitar player. Saying that, I think Stevie comes probably next, personally for me. And I'm biased, but my dad's right up there. My dad was one of Stevie's biggest influence because he basically taught him how to play. And where Stevie inspired me, Jimmy, he taught me how to play as well. But yeah, growing up with the Thunderbirds, I mean, they Tough Enough and Wrap It Up. Man, it was hard for me not to play.
Right.
Like
That's where I met your father.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know that. I met him probably 1986, 87, I guess it was, when he was playing at the Agora Ballroom in Hartford. And they were warming up, or it was a double bill with Brian Stetzler when he went solo and hanging up there and did that sound check, about that. Very cool. At the time, like I mentioned, I had no idea who he really was, you know? And then then I met Josh and your cousin, and I was like, man, it's ironic how it's crazy how things just fall into place, you know?
Interesting.
And here you are on my show. I mean, this is crazy, right? I mean,
it's very thrilling, very exciting.
It is. And thanks, by the way, for offering to sponsor the UFO park.
Yeah, no, we're glad to have a bench in there. How cool is that? I mean,
I've got some ideas too. I'm thinking about doing a really nice, well, I guess we're going to do a joint plaque with Rita.
Okay.
Rita King. And I don't know if the
B.B.
audience...
King's daughter.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I think the plaques to those we've loved and lost.
Yeah.
And it's going to go on either a bench or, some type of a historical marker, something really sweet, something nice in there.
Very nice.
Once again, I appreciate that.
You bet.
So are you touring now, or are you on the road now?
I'm actually in the studio, on these the end of the year, and I'm looking to go on tour in 2022 as the country opens back up slowly to live music again. So,
well, maybe I can get you out to where the park is.
Oh, I'd love to. I got to come up there and just do a tour, just play 4 or 5 shows in the area.
Yep. They've had the music in Tanglewood, and I know that Matthew knows a lot of spots up there as well.
Plenty in Mass. Yeah.
Hey, let's make that happen, man. That'd be too fun.
Sure.
Well, you were in Hartford, right? Not too long ago.
Yeah, I do a lot of stuff in Connecticut with the Jeff Pitchell band. He's got a really good blues rock band, and I go up there and play all over Connecticut. I've been doing that for about 4 or 5 years.
So let me ask you this: you had a friend, or your sighting was in Hartford, or was that your friend's sighting?
Yeah, I had only really one other friend that has ever mentioned a story like this, but my buddy Jeff said that back, I guess in the 70s, I want to say, where he would have been a teenager, 19 or 20 maybe, and he said that him and his, I think, high school sweetheart, his wife now, and they both saw like a triangular, and you've heard this before, of a triangular metal or chrome piece that's just kind of following them, and when you hear him tell the story, he's really affected by it, and you could tell that it was something they went through, but I've heard that before, triangular shaped, chromed out,
like the Phoenix Lights.
Just like that. Now my incident, I was back in Austin, Texas, Reimer's Ranch. There's a river flowing there that you camp on, and it was 3 or 4 of my buddies, and we were there, and it kind of over the ridge comes like orbs. Okay, I would say at the most it was 3. Sometimes down to 2, and then down to 1 at times, right? And these orbs, if I could describe it, the color is kind of like hot white, yellow, orange, and red, kind of coming and going as those colors. Like
roiling.
Kind of rolling like that, and just to the point to where we had to catch our breaths. Like my buddy was the first one to see it. He says, "Do you see that?" And we all kind of look and go, yeah. And they're moving in such an interesting way that you just don't see anything in the sky move. So as we're kind of backing up on each other, like, holy crap, here it comes towards us. It just kind of, in a blink of an eye, vanishes, right? And we all just kind of looked at each other and said, what the heck was that? And to this day, we don't know. But we know it's something that we've never seen before.
Okay. Now, I've spoken to Tyrone about this before, but you're aware that that's what we saw too, were two spheres.
You described similar things.
Yeah. The one was orange, had the roll to it, pretty much the same thing. And then again, Hartford is only 50 minutes or so from our park.
Right.
Yeah.
And and you said the 70s, correct? The one in Hartford?
Yeah, the one in Hartford would have probably been the 70s.
So that was around the same time that our incident took place, which was 69. And they were still seeing activity there for quite a while. Yeah, there's something there. And even in 2014 and 15 or 13 and 14, there were crop circles that showed up there.
Wicked.
Yeah. So there's something with that area. But
Exactly.
I had front row seats for that. I did, actually.
Yeah, no,
I was in the back seat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was in the car. Yeah. So I've got a Engel Powerball 2 with a Ibanez, and I just bang out bar chords.
Yeah, man. Ibanez, what a great company.
Yeah, they were. It's all right. The Jet King. I think we showed it before you got on the show.
Yeah,
So
you can knock a burglar out with that thing.
yeah, it's heavy.
It seems pretty solid.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Hey, by the way, too, Rita. I spoke to Rita King,
Yeah, how's she doing?
about a week ago, and she's coming on the show, which I have to thank Josh for that.
That's fantastic.
How do you know the family of BB King?
Well, BB, I met back when my dad, after Stevie died in '91, a bunch of people came to Austin for a concert with Jimmy. BB was one of them, Buddy Guy, Eric Clapton, Bonnie Raitt, Robert Cray. And I got to meet BB then. And God, he's like your grandpa, he's just the sweetest man. He's very lovable. He'll talk with you and you can't even believe that you're getting to talk to this guy. But he's a sweetheart, and he's always loved my dad and Stevie. They've always been close friends for many years now. But that's why I first met BB. Now BB's got sons and daughters, and I know a couple of them.
So she was super cool too. It's like,
Nice.
everybody I meet around your family just seems to be so friggin' like down to earth and chill.
Right on. Yeah.
No attitudes, not pretentious.
And same to you. I mean, it's nice talking to you. It's really,
Thanks.
it's fun.
Yeah. And then when I went over your cousin's house, they were short on a bed, so I slept in Josh's daughter's bunk bed.
Hey, make it work. Make it work.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, again, super cool. And I guess I think he's introducing me to Pauly Shore. I guess
There
he's
you
friends
go.
with Pauly Shore too.
Yeah, great comedian, Pauly Shore. Right now I'm in the studio. I've got a new EP coming out called Rock and Roll Soul
Okay.
that I'm writing right now with Indigo Sound Company. Julian Ramirez, Robert Rodriguez. These guys are helping me produce and write. And man, it's just coming out lovely. I'm real grateful for it, real appreciative. And, we had a lot of time to write in the last year or two, right? With the old COVID-19. But it's been a blessing in disguise, actually.
Now, do you have a band, or you just kind of hire musicians to play with you, or?
Yeah, it just depends. Usually I'll fly out and just hook up with a band, they'll learn my tunes. I'll learn some of their songs, or that'd be good.
You were on WSBS radio, I think the radio station that broadcast our event.
Yes.
Well, several of them have a band.
Okay.
Jesse Stewart actually has a band.
Okay.
So we could put this together.
Yeah, put it together right there. We could put together an 1.5-hour set. No problem.
So when I was out there with Josh, we actually were walking around Dallas, and I saw this mural, and Stevie's was on the side of this building.
Yeah, killer, huh?
Yeah. And then they had these artists out there, and they were like touching things up and everything.
Yeah.
And Josh was there with his wife, and we stopped and we're like, "Hey, not mention a nice job, whatever." And the guy turns around, he goes, "Yeah, this is so and so." And Josh is like, "Yeah, man, I know who it is." Like, so he was telling them, like, I'm related to the family, man. It's and they're like,
Yeah,
they didn't
sure.
believe a word of it at first, right? They're like, "Oh, come, like no," because we were walking around, we had some drinks, and we were just like chilling. There was
Yeah.
music playing in the background. And they were trying to like, no, that's
small world. That's a hometown right there. So
yeah. But when you say, oh yeah, I was related to the family, or I know they, Stevie and Tyrone and Jimmy, like, bullshit, like no, really, seriously,
Yeah.
it was pretty funny actually. So
very cool. Yeah, Jimmy and Stevie just they're from Oak Cliff, is a suburb of Dallas, just south of Dallas. That's where they were born and grew up, and they were just honored there 2 weeks ago. There's an art exhibit in their name, and it's got pictures of them when they were kids and pictures of them in their career, and it's made out of metal and it moves, and it's just really sweet.
Yeah, they really honor your family. They really love the Vaughns over there.
Well deserved. Jimmy and Stevie really did a great thing. I mean, they got some big accolades. They won some Grammys, and one of my favorite records though of Jimmy and Stevie is their record they did together called Family Style. Check out Family Style. Okay, that's the last record that Stevie did before he passed.
Okay.
And yeah, that was a long time record. I'm sure Jimmy and Stevie wanted to do a record together for years, and they finally got to do it. So, but that's one. It won some awards. It's a great record.
Now, Jimmy, actually, your father founded the Thunderbirds, right? He just play. Yeah. He founded it.
Yeah. He started the band, put it together, and they took off. One of their claims to fame was they were the house band at Antone's. So when Clifford Antone would bring in people from all over, really, all the heavy blues players would come in, and my dad would get to just back them up. So you can imagine that would really be a great learning curve there. But after that, he went on to write some big hits.
Now, you were in Australia?
I sure was. Right before they shut down, before the lockdowns happened, I was up in Australia. Now, before that, I'd went around the world a couple of times, did a bunch of European tours with Cyril Neville from the Neville Brothers. Okay, so
nice.
We cut 2 records, and I wrote 3 songs with him, and I got to play at about 16 or 17 countries and 3 continents, and all in about 2-year span.
I mean, your family's legendary. I mean, you got to stick with carry on that Vaughan name.
Yeah. Somebody's got to do it, man. It's an honor.
It is, right? I mean, not everybody can say something like that, right? Like our family, in some respects, made a form of U.S. history, right? So you
certainly did, bro.
And some of our family members are like, I don't want to be involved in that or associated with that. But my God, if my freaking father was Jimmy Vaughan, I'd be like, my God,
Well, you could easily go the other way, go in the opposite direction. But man, so I'm into writing original music, and the flavor of the next album is very, I would say, old throwback, vintage style with maybe a new age twist. I mean,
right. Because music's changed a lot.
It really has.
But blues is blues. So which one of your family members rocked the best leads? Okay, your dad compared to Stevie, what do you think? Because your father's actually Stevie's older brother.
Yeah.
Right? So I guess he kind of...
without Jimmy, we don't have Stevie.
Right.
Jimmy was the one that pulled up his bootstraps and went into the fire and said, "Hey, boys, we can do this."
Right.
Stevie was like, "Oh, Jimmy can do it. Let me try." So
I'm going to put on a cool hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had some style. They had some flavor and some flair. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So between those two, then, who do you think? What's the difference between their style of playing?
Now, my dad, you know, I've heard him sound so similar where you can't even tell who's who, which is cool. But, you know, my dad, he's just stayed true blue, more of a purist, perhaps,
Okay.
and was kind of more known for digging a groove that you can't get out of. When he plays, he never gets in a rush. He refuses to play. He refuses to run. Let's say he'll fast walk or perhaps jog, never runs. Okay. And that's something to be said for that. You know, he's listening to his heart, and his heart is telling him how to play like that. Where most guys,
All over the place.
and I'm guilty too, you want to get ahead of yourself. You know, you're so excited to be burning on the guitar and that has its place too. Now, Stevie was I think I like Stevie because he mixed the rock and roll up in it as well. Now, Thunderbirds are rock and roll, R&B, blues, rhythm and blues, but Stevie had that Hendrix rock and roll flair, you know, where Stevie was opening up for a bunch of rock and roll people. And, you know, he got attention like from the Stones, David Bowie.
He was flamboyant.
Yeah, he really was out there with it. Now, Stevie could play fast. Stevie was quick. He was lightning quick on his with his fingers. But Stevie, like Albert King said, there's a lot of guitar players out here that play fast. They don't concentrate on no soul. He said, but Stevie, you got them both, you know. So the thing about Stevie is, yeah, he was fast, but he had soul. He just didn't run a bunch of notes together. He felt every one of them.
He felt every
one of them.
Connected.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Josh took me to a little studio in his house in Dallas.
Cool.
You know what I'm talking about? You've been there?
Absolutely.
He had pictures of Stevie, you, everybody, memorabilia everywhere.
Mhm.
What did you ever record there? Was that a recording studio for the family, or?
I cut that video going home there.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. There's a lot of equipment in there. Yep.
And but no, that's something Josh has done in the last 7 years.
Okay.
So that's relatively new.
He had an alien in there, and I bought it from him.
Oh, you did? You had to have it?
Yeah, I did. Oh, that's going with me. How much you want for it? Yeah. Did he tell you?
No.
Yeah. I was carrying it into the limousine. Yeah. It was hysterical. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. Anyway, it was kind of cool. So from what I get, your dad is more true to blues, and Stevie mixed it up a little bit. And you, how do you?
I like to sit in there. I feel, you know, I've got a sense, you know, about when to hold and when to fold, you know, when to play and when not to play. A lot of people say it's what you don't play that matters.
Okay.
And again, it's just running too many notes together, you know. So you want to tell a story, you know, like my dad used to say, when you solo, you have a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Right.
Know? And you got to, you're talking, you know, it's your voice, it's your talking voice through your hands. And I just make the guitar sing. I listen to myself. And another thing they say too is to play what you want to hear. You know, get it out in your mind and get it onto the guitar. T-Bone Walker, Freddie King, Lightning Hopkins, Billy Gibbons.
Yeah.
You know, and the list goes on. But you know, I kind of represent Texas. You know, Texas blues. And I just sound like a Texas blues guy, really. I mean, you could call it Vaughan or what you want. But it's just blues.
Now, have you thought about doing something a little more, we'll call it edgy? Like getting into more rock and roll end of things versus the blues?
Yeah, absolutely. I've got a song called Shabuzi. It's an instrumental, and it's got that edge you're talking about. It's a rocker.
Okay.
I just play on blues right over it. That's on the new album.
So it's a 4/4 time type of.
Yeah. It's like a. I mean, let's face it. There's no big record deals anymore where you can really promote yourself.
No, it's all marketing now.
Yeah, you sell like a billion streams and you're not making any money. It's just really interesting.
I think the contracts now are like a 70-30, right? Is that pretty close? The label will get 70% of the marketing, and you get 30%.
And at times they do a 360 deal where they're getting a piece of everything. You know.
I can get you on WSBS again. I know that for a fact.
That would be key. That would be key
Yep.
right there.
And that's in our backyard. And you got PLR in the backyard too. That's a big station, right? You could pick up PLR from Manhattan, you know, to the park. I've got it in over there too. So yeah, I was just trying to think, like, you got something new coming out, something edgy. We could promote that a little bit, play at the park. I mean, again, the only issue is going to be a generator or getting some power there. There is a restaurant up the hill, but I don't know if they'll let us. I'm sure if I threw them a couple $100, they'll let us run an extension cord, you know.
It's a long extension
Blowing
cord.
breakers, though. I'm sure.
But
And
Matt,
then, of course, yeah. And
you
then
and Matt
Bill,
on it. We'll take y'all take care
yeah,
of it.
Bill plays guitar. He's pretty friggin' good, but he's more like, my God, he's metal. You know, he's like Iron Maiden. You know,
No, we were talking earlier. He said he was a metal guy. I said, yeah, I caught a Metallica opening up for Ozzy Osbourne back in the day, Master of Puppets tour with Cliff Burton on bass. I was like, yeah, man, I'm right there. I saw Iron Maiden somewhere in Time tour. I remember all that stuff.
I actually got pulled on stage at a Metallica concert in
Oh,
Palm Beach.
watch out!
Yeah, I was, you know, the mosh pits.
Yeah.
You know, everyone was going nuts, and I was hanging out with that for a little bit, and I was like, you know what? I'm only 5'6", and I was like 180 pounds. I'm like, check, please. So one of the guys reached off the stage, and while they were playing, you know, the security put me right up, and I was on stage, and everyone's like, yeah, you know, and I'm like, for a minute there, I'm like, oh shit, I'm on stage with Metallica, right? So it was pretty cool. Then I just walked off. I was like, oh man, that was probably 2004, something like that. It was quite a while ago, but. And you know, too, I started my career started in music. You know, I was a stage manager for Northeast Concerts, and yeah, so it's just kind of ironic how things happen, how things turn out. And but I ran a follow spot for Steppenwolf way back in the day.
Yeah,
that was kind of neat. And Ted Nugent, I worked with Ted Nugent. Aerosmith played, but I didn't get to meet them. But the Church, Echo and the Bunnymen. You know, Twisted Sister, all those bands back in the day. Yeah. But I always liked the Thunderbirds too. I mean, I really love that song. You know, the pool, they're all singing around the pool. You know, it was so who worked on that video? I mean, how did that happen?
That I don't know. I mean, I probably was 7 or 8 years old when it came out, and I just remember my dad had the scene where he was in the shower. He was with this woman, and he still had a suit on, and he had the shades, and he pulled them down.
Okay.
Wrap it up.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. All right. So you play a Strat. What color is it? Red? Is it the red one?
It's turquoise.
Is it turquoise?
Ooh.
Okay. So a video where you were playing a red one.
Yeah, that was an older Strat.
Okay. Gotcha. And you got a harmonica from somebody too, right?
Yeah, Muddy Waters gave me his harmonica back in the day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
What a life, man.
It's just soul. It's 60s soul is what I think it is.
Talk about that, because I think that's how the plaque and what's going in the park. I mean, a lot of people forget that a lot of people have passed that are associated with the park.
Right.
And so we were talking about, you know, putting the plaque together. You know, of course, you know, Stevie, you know, his life was cut too short. My father lost his life at 54.
Yes.
And then, of course, Rita wanted to be offered to be part of that too. So for those who are listening, the plaque actually is going to have a tribute to Stevie from Tyrone, B.B. King from Rita, and Dr. Howard Reed from me, his son. And so I believe it's going to be worded in memory of those we've loved and lost. And again, the park has a lot of feeling to it. It's become like a touristy thing, right? Okay. But that it's kind of losing its soul. It's kind of losing its heart a little bit. And I really think this will help bring it back and get people to realize that you know, to look deeper into the lives of these people who sponsor it and how that park came to be, because it's a lot more than just pulling in a hot dog cart. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I hear you. I hear you loud and clear. Yes, sir.
So again, I really appreciate you being part of that. And
hey, my pleasure, fellas. Appreciate it, man.
So if people want to reach out and you know, listen to your songs, or what, do you have like one website where you've got a lot of this stuff?
Yeah, TyroneVaughan.net.
All right.
That's it. I'm on Instagram, Facebook.
Oh, yeah. Are you on my Facebook?
That I don't. My Facebook page is down at the moment, but it will be up soon. I am on Instagram, Tyrone Vaughan.
Okay. Well, I'll friend you and
Please
stay in
do.
touch. You've got my number.
Yeah, let's hang out next.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think that would be friggin' awesome.
Okay.
And Josh and I have become very good friends, and I think he's
great.
going to be doing some artwork for me, and he's a
I
great
love
artist.
it. I love it. Yes.
So I got to tell you one more thing. So
Yeah. What you got?
a long time ago, I'm going to say 8-9 years ago, I ran into Peter Wolf, not Peter Wolf from Jay Giles, but Peter Wolf, who used to be a rep for Carbon Guitars.
Okay.
And he introduced me to Joe Naggs, and Joe Naggs designed guitars for Paul Reed Smith.
Okay.
And so for about a year and a half, I actually had a guitar line from
Oh, really?
Naggs. Yep. But they were so freaking expensive. They're like $4,000
Yeah.
a guitar. And I
Nice.
thought to myself, I can get an Ibanez.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
800.
I just want to jump in quick before we wrap the show.
What you got?
Tyrone, when you do gigs, do you do any covers of Stevie or your dad?
Yeah, I'll do a few. I'll do a couple of Hendrix, a couple of Stevie. Yeah,
Nice.
absolutely.
Well, I got to say, as the producer, I am definitely getting your new album when it comes out, the EP.
yeah, man.
And I hope to see you at the park doing a gig or wherever else here. So I'm looking forward to seeing you do your thing on stage and rocking out. So
well, here's the thing, Bill. Bill's a sponsor of the park too. The station is,
Okay.
and it's like we're surrounded by musicians, right? We know a lot of musicians.
Yeah.
It's simply a matter of pulling it together, and that's because the weather there is weird. It have to be in the summer, but then
Okay.
again, it can be really hot in the summer. So maybe spring.
late spring.
Deal with it.
Yeah. So
Well,
we-
guys, I'm going to jump out because we got to wrap the show up.
we're really like,
Hey,
Thank you
nice
so
to
much
meet
for
you,
coming
man.
on.
Thanks for the warm welcome. I appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, guys, I'm going to dip out so we can wrap it up.
Okay.
okay, man. Take care. Stay in touch, okay?
Tom, thank you, brother. Matt, nice to meet you, man.
Peace, brother.
Y'all be good.
I'll hook up with you, and if you tell me what you need for backline and other stuff, I'll try and set stuff up for you from here. I'll get your contact info through Tom. All right.
So Tyrone
Let's
Vaughan
see,
will be
bud.
coming to the UFO park.
Okay.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.